Yeah. Well, hello everyone. My name is Jacob Dillon, and I'm with my brother
Sam Dillon.
Yeah, there we go. And this is the first episode of this is the first episode of Dillon's Dissect. And due to lockdown, we've thought it upon ourselves that it'd be very necessary to make a podcast, as many of us do. And yes, I hope you're here to enjoy it.
But what's going to be different about this one, Jake?
Oh, it's going to be different. Well, it's a chance.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all. No, yeah, the perfect opinion of some Dillon's dissecting films and popular media culture that you're just missing in your crummy, disgraceful life, you cretins. Yes. Yeah. So lap it up.
So while you're hating yourself and you're hating your environment, why not hang along with us at all the things that they inspire us and also get under our skin at the same time. But with that digital closeness of how much we close talk in real life. So we hope that this is kind of your digital beer garden of us ranting at you and inside you.
Yes. So the audio is going to be very cheap and awful this episode, unfortunately. So if you do enjoy it, that means we'll be able to fund much grander schemes of producers and studios and champagne parties. But yeah,
speaking of champagne and studios, where are you coming live from?
I'm from the Dillon Loft at the moment. It's where my humble abode. And
can you elaborate on what that actually means?
It's basically going to
last ball.
It's a big long hall, like wall, like thingo, and then I live in it, and it's very classy. Mattress on the floor, a massive cocktail trolley, lots of hidden cupboards that no one can open, and many people question what's inside them. But that's all right. It's all part of the charm of the loft. And
dark crystal lunch boxes.
Yeah, dark crystal lunch boxes, an Alf lunch box.
Wheelchair.
Yeah, there's a wheelchair in the one of the cupboards, which I bring out on special occasions. You never know when you're going to need one on a bender. Large collection of useless vinyls, the soundtrack of Dune included.
Is that your heavy lifting of Gronk pastime trophy behind you there?
Oh, yes. This is a famous artifact. It's actually the biggest Broy trophy. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen. But it's Broy is spelled with an R, Broy. And it's strongest Broy 2018. My friend said he was stronger than me, and I denied it. And we were going to have a weightlifting competition, but then he didn't turn up, so then I automatically won by default. So I'm the strongest Broy of 2018, and no one's
great.
No one's taken it off me yet.
To a audience of one.
I am the strongest, bro.
My only sin was that I dreamed too big.
I am like Atlas with the world on my back.
And what are you drinking there, boy?
Oh, I'm drinking a Kirin Ikeban, what do we call them? It was on special at the Bottle-O, and the fridge I wanted to get to with the craft section had one of the workers in front of it stacking shelves, and I think she was pretending to look busy, so I didn't want to, ruin her flow.
So she thought passing time, you thought super spreader, thought best of it.
Yeah, I did the appropriate mature thing, and there was also a young gentleman that was 18 that didn't have a mask, and then he goes, "Oh, is it all right if I don't have a mask?" And walked in, and the guy at the store goes, "Oh no, it's not okay, you got to leave," and he just walked in anyway. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I finished buying, and then I walked into my car, and I got a mask out of my car, and then walked into the store and threw it at him. And that was
actually?
Yeah, I gave it to him like, wear a mask, mate. It's $5,000 fine. Have some sense. And then he was like, "Oh yeah." And then I looked at the bottle shop and I was just shrugging my shoulders and I'm like, "Come on, mate." And then walked off.
Yeah.
So that's my hero stint today. But
pretty good, man. You can basically be an arsehole for the rest of the evening now.
Yeah.
Which
I
you
can have my cake and eat it too. What are you drinking, Sam? What's your liquid?
Well, I'm drinking the Tasman Tango South Pacific Ale from Batch Brewery. Oh. And I'm coming to you live from in Brunswick in Melbourne, where I live. You can see those odd boxes over my shoulder there. That's my pythons, my South Australian wine pythons. very, very rare, very delicate animals.
They form an island that is no longer there. Volcanic eruption into their entire existence.
I single-handedly hold the essence of Krypton.
I clutched the last egg on the last flight.
They had their chance, Zod. So I'm doing that. It's quite cold down here, so I've got a hot water bottle behind my back because I'm an old man.
And a nice fresh orange from Christmas. I'm spoilt.
Got a bit of Anzac biscuits under the bed if you need a bit of a nibble.
Do you care for have a crumb?
Careful, they've gone a bit sour.
I prefer them when they're soggy. Yeah.
So, Jacob, explain this, as this is our fledgling episode.
Yes.
And it is pretty low budget. We're just testing the waters. What will we be discussing today that people might be able to get a handle on?
I thought it would be appropriate to start something very simple, very easy, and something that all generations have understood in the last 100 years, I guess. And that is Batman and superheroes in general. And I think it's a modern invention, basically. Obviously started with Nietzsche in the 19th. His idea of a Superman. No.
Not saying superpowers, are you? You're talking about Russia and Germany?
Obviously, it started off with, the type of Superman stuff, but I find Superman a bit lame, so I reckon we start with
that. So we're going to go down this little rabbit hole of some of the ways that my older generation got into Batman, like the OG animated series, the Tim Burton films, then the whole shambles of the 90s with the the pleather buttocks and stuff. And then Jacob will be taking over with some of the Christopher Nolans and where that's going into our current high art, I guess, and cerebral Batmans.
Bag of watch.
And we're also going to go into a bit of other things like Superman, Man of Steel, and maybe even some of the atrocities and fun parts of Marvel films and where we think it might be heading. So, strap yourself in. I hope you've got yourself a box over here. What are you wearing, Jacob? You're looking fly, eh?
I'm wearing a Barney's leather jacket I got a few years ago on discount.
Yeah. 5-finger discount, or you paid for it like a...
No, I paid for it like a real boy.
Like a real boy?
Like a real boy. It cost me about like 200 or so, but I've got on this website where it's like discounts. It's like usually like $700 for a jacket, but you get it for like 100, and you go, ooh yeah, I'm copping that. And then you just go, tell everyone at a dinner party or something that you're wearing a $700 jacket. Careful with that red wine. I'm wearing a $700 jacket.
You have children? Ooh!
What are you wearing, you piece of shit?
I should wear you like some loafers and walk out.
Put a show hoodie on. What are you wearing?
Well, I'm wearing my Suffocation Pierce from Within shirt from the lovely people at Direct Touring and Direct Merchandise.
Oh,
if you need to get some threads, your metal threads while you're in lockdown, hit them up. Why don't we get cracking, man? Let's go. Let's go.
Let's start off with I reckon Tim Burton's Batman. You can't go wrong.
Why can't you go wrong?
Well, you can't go wrong. Look, soundtrack, Prince. And at the start of the
soundtrack, he's the party man.
Party man, black and white, red and green. It's amazing because even though it's in the start, it's this big letter saying Prince has a soundtrack, like holy shit. But then it's most of it's done by what's his name? He did the Simpsons.
Oh, Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman does most of it. He does the hard work. He's breaking his back on it. But then you hear in the background, it'll be like people walking on the street and hear on people's subwoofers and stuff. You hear them playing Prince songs, but they're not even they're fake Prince songs Prince made for the movie.
Yeah.
And I heard on a sound note, Prince was so obsessed with Batman, he even made his own Prince comic where he's like Batman, but it's like a purple Batman and he's Prince, riding on a motorbike and stuff through New York, saving people's lives. And everyone's like, oh, thanks, Prince. You're the best. And he goes, yes, I'm taller than 4 foot. And everyone's worshipping him.
It's like he's so small that the beacon that they use is actually just someone on their shed with a spotlight going.
Yeah, the flashlight in the woods.
Yeah. With a bit of purple cellophane over the edge.
The prince of his mouse eyes can see it. Go, yeah. Great film. Jack Nicholson, flawless.
Yeah.
Some of the great lines I love from it is it's his first entrance as the Joker, and it's the mafia boss or whatever. And he goes, "Is that you, Sugar Bubs?" And then he can see the silhouette that is Jack Nicholson, and he can't see the Joker makeup on it yet. And he walks in and he goes, "It's me, Sugar Bubs." It's like,
and the old never rub another man's rhubarb.
It's, oh, 2 cocks in the same hen house.
Yep. And then when they go to the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and he starts like this with the boombox and starts spray painting everything, and then they get to the Francis Bacon, and he's like, "No, I get this guy."
I get this one.
I love how the Tim Burton took away all that campness and like disco vibes of Adam West, and he turned it into what Bob Kane probably wanted to do, which was
it's a comic to life.
A neo-gothic, very brooding, very sad, depressed man that his only sort of, I guess, repentance for him feeling he was out of the picture of being able to save his family was to become the ultimate fear of crime. Yeah. So it's very cool. And but I reckon it really went up a notch in the freak category when they did Batman Returns.
Oh, it's because they gave him more money, and they're going like, "Oh, that was fantastic," and he goes, "Ha ha ha."
Yeah, and he got to be the graveyard masturbator that he definitely wanted to be, and have what's his old mate, tiny guy.
What do you mean?
Penguin. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito. So this is the first time he gets to use Danny DeVito, and like he was probably actually thinking in his head, we could also just have Helen Bottom Farter in this as well.
I was thinking that. I know this great hot chick, Helen Bottom Carter, and everyone's like, "What? We're not putting
the English broad with the bird's nest."
Have you heard of Johnny Depp? I think he could play Batman. Yeah, I don't know why I made him a pirate.
Years in advance, you could see it through your crystal ball. But the penguin is one of the most disgusting characters. He's so good. Like,
that bit where he's eating the fish and he bites the guy's nose off is probably
the gushing blood.
The most intense scenes I've ever seen. When I was a kid growing up, I go like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. And he's in that in these long johns, just keeps sweaty and covered in like grease. And that's his flair, and I'm going like, oh, this guy's so cruel.
Yeah, he's kind of like a 1920s sideshow invalid that's just wandering around, being really awful, and that's really biblical because they're doing that whole thing of he's not interested in money or to be the mayor or anything.
Revenge.
He wants revenge, and he wants to kill all the firstborn, like straight out of Genesis. So
it is, he's like the angel of death, basically.
Yep. He is the 7th plague or whatever.
Plague upon.
It's very cool.
And even this girl is the texture of it is a lot more intense than the first one. Like you start to see inside of shops a lot more, and all the infrastructure and the office buildings, and it starts to get a bit more of that Burton-esque where it's all wonky and like
every
it looks industrial. It also looks like it's made out of like polystyrene, like at the same time. But
well, I'm guessing he's doing a lot of miniatures, like how the zoo, all the animals look. Everything looks like a busted up claw hanging down,
slightly melted.
And if you go into a hallway, even if it's like say a corporate shopping center or something, every doorway full is at a slant, like a
German expressionism type. Everything's wonk.
Or everyone's shoulder pads are like out at right angles.
I heard what was the great thing? Michelle Pfeiffer in that famous whip scene where she's going through the shopping mark. Apparently she did that in like one take as well. and like everyone was going like, "Whoa!" And she was like so accurate with her whip and stuff, and all of the guys in the camera go like, "Ooh!" Like,
Yeah. So they're all just imagining every one of those mannequins was the head of their penis being like off.
God damn it! Jesus, that was my shaft.
He's circumcised.
Yeah, of course, Christopher Walken's in it as well with some fantastic hair.
As Max Shrek.
Max Shrek.
But somehow his son is like Johnny Onassis massive.
Yeah, his son's this massive jock boy, and you go like, come on.
Yeah.
Be good if like his daughter was Natalie Wood, and she like comes out all like wet and sogging. It's like, I knew it was you, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
He was like, get back in that. Back in the corner.
And so then we go up to during this time, the success of all this has made sure that they want the franchise through Warner Brothers to kick on. So around the same time as they're doing things like Tiny Toons and Looney Tune Hour, they bring out the animated series of Batman, which was really cool because it was the first time a lot of, I guess, minor villains get to be put on an ability to be animated and seen by the masses. So you've got people like Killer Croc and the guy that's in charge of time, all this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And it's really, really sinister. Like they kept the whole aesthetic of the Burton films and stuck it in a 25-minute episode.
And it made it even more authentic, almost the comic. Like I felt like you're watching like a comic book every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And everyone's got the Dick Tracy jawline and the really broody scenes.
But it's noir. Yeah.
Definitely. It feels a lot more earlier in history though, like maybe like your 1930s to your 1950s vibe that's happening. Yeah. Like very Berlin sort of style. But it was really, I like the fact that even though it was a kid's show, a lot of these characters, they make them overly bleak and really tragic. So no one's just a villain for the sake of being a villain. They've all got a reason why they're there in the first place.
Spider-Man, a lot of the Spider-Man villains were kind of just like, I'm the Vulture, and I'm a scientist. I don't like spiders, so I'm going to...
I'm the flying Mr. Burns.
I'm a art, and I want money. I love that with the Batman thing. It's the same with Batman himself, because he's not a superhero cursed by an ability. He's just a man that wants to take charge and like do something with his life. And I feel like it's the same with the villains. Like you get Clayface and stuff, which is, I think, probably our favorite Sam. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's terrifying, but just oh man, just those scenes, like his hand can turn into like crab claws, and then there's that metal thing where it's like a metal hand.
Oh yeah, it becomes the front part of a bulldozer.
And like he just goes, and he even can put his face into the shape of Batman and stuff. And I think, it's amazing. And I'm loving how they actually gave 2 episodes like to like certain characters.
They do. They don't dilute it down for the sake of a child. They make sure that the proper
it's almost like a cliffhanger of how awesome this character is.
Totally. Yeah. And so then what do you think about we go the other side of the coin where we start to get into your coming of age and you're watching Batman Begins? Of
course. Well, not even Batman Begins. Like you can't forget, of course, the tragedy that is Batman and Robin. Because I was born in 1996, so that means when I was growing up, it goes, guess what's on this night? Channel 7 this Saturday. Get ready for a bit of Batman. And it's going to be Batman. That's the one they can afford. It's going to be Batman and Robin on a Saturday night. And because I'm a little kid, I don't know any better, rushing home like, I can't watch that Batman and Robin. And 10 minutes.
I really want to watch some homoerotic cheese.
Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. What? And you get there and you go like, this is so shit. And then you think, I'm already 8 at this point. I think, I wish I could watch Silence of the Lambs, which I was allowed to watch that videotape. But
Our mum was really weird about certain things. Like she let us watch Shawshank Redemption and Steel Magnolias and all these other things like Gundy and everything. These are all really heavy ass films.
They're very heavy. Like you gotta have a lot of maturity to understand these.
Oh films. The grasp, the loss and the suffering and the male rape.
Yeah, childish film like Batman and Robin sometimes. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah, she'd be like, I remember she waited till I was basically in my late teens before she let me watch Nightmare Before Christmas. But yet she'd let me watch any other film that had something horrific in it up until then.
I don't think she likes the texture of them, but I can tell you right now, she's watching British crime shows now that are modern standards. So there's no rating on them. She's watching them on Stan. She's watching horrible rape and kidnap things. And she goes to me like, I wish you would watch nice things, Jacob. And I go, oh, gives me nightmares, literally. Yeah. But it's terrible. It's really bad. Yeah. She could be the perfect murderer, the amount of crime shows she's watched. She could be
writes down the victim names on the menu board.
Yeah, we have a chalk menu board.
Monday to Friday, beheadings.
Yeah, there's a chalkboard in our family house, and Mum writes the menu for the week. And she would definitely write in some clues on the menu board if there's a murder going on.
As Megan was saying, we have a legit menu board in the family house. It's huge. It's like the size of what you'd see in an Italian family restaurant. And it's so well organized because our mum's a teacher that every meal for 2 weeks is listed down on what night it's going to be on the table. So that meant that, one, we did a really massive shop, and two, you couldn't snack on anything out of the fridge because you would be eating a component for one meal of the next 14 days.
Can't have a slice of ham because that's part of the part of the pizza a few nights away.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're always hungry for the meal that's coming, but it's always great. But it was funny because people would call us liars when we were growing up, and then they'd come over to the house, and the first thing they see in the hallway is this giant thing. We'd also have little kind of things at the bottom where Mum would leave a encouraging quote from some column 8 thing she's seen in the Sun Herald, or you'd put something up from a book you'd read or a film you'd seen. Very, very wholesome, very funny, but
very cultural,
very OCD. Yeah,
but and there's also you also know when a bad meal's coming as well, so you can pre-plan to when to be out. Yeah. So when it's what was it the other night? It was zucchini and broccoli soup. I think I'm going for a walk and a Taco Tuesday meal that night, unfortunately. Zucchini and broccoli soup.
Yeah. Mine Kath Dillon is amazing cook at most things. One thing we can both agree on that she's never mastered is the simple chicken.
Chicken, you reckon? Too dry?
It's the driest damn bird in the world.
It's one of the 7th layers of hell. It's like
it's like Dante falling through a few layers of his skin to the real hell.
Kentucky Fried Colonel is stuck in this cave where he's given all these chickens, but their mum's chicken, where he's eating them. Go, it's not the chicken I made. It's dry chicken. He's coughing up dust. Going,
I reckon hell is just, or limbo or whatever, would just be our mum getting it to the exact time that it's perfect, and then going, just 5 minutes more. Just 5 minutes more.
Can't be raw. Get salmonella.
Yeah. Salmonella.
We've gone a bit off track now. Get back to
Sorry.
Robin.
We're back to Christopher Nolan. No, rubber nipples. Rubber nipples.
I can't ignore the rubber nipples. I think that's a must. Yeah. So
and also the fact that when Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze, very inventive as for the casting. The fact that they managed to make his entire dialogue be terrible puns to do with being Mr. Freeze.
What kills the dinosaurs, the Ice Age.
It is endless. It's stuff like, hey, bad boy, stay cool. Well, you're not sending me to the freezer.
Yeah, I heard he only actually filmed for a few days. And
so he would have been like Krusty the Clown style.
Just not even dialogue. It's literally just there would be a writing room, but he's coming in 2 days, boys. We need the worst ice puns we can get.
Yeah.
That would sound funny in his accent. And then, because it takes 6 hours or 8 hours to put the makeup on. Okay. And then he has 2 hours to act for the next 3 days. So it needs to be just quick lines you can do in angles, and then we'll just edit it so it looks like he's there. I'm pretty sure that's what the go was, but oh man, this is the movie where Batman had a credit card with a bat on it when he rocks up to a party. Do you remember this scene? This is because Poison Ivy has a party and he rocks up. He goes and oh my god, it's Batman, and he's not even arresting anyone. He's just turned up to a party.
Yeah.
Because this is like almost going back to the 70s or 60s show, where it's just Batman can just walk around in his suit and no one's gone,
no one questions it. No one's like, aren't you that vigilante that makes the federal police or whatever look like shit?
And like you're a terrorist and we need to arrest you.
You're an enemy of the public. We need to arrest you now.
And he goes like, oh, what are you doing here, Batman? He goes, I'm paying for the tab or something like that. And he pulls out his card and it's got like a bat symbol on his credit card. And I go, oh, so now they can trace you to a bank and arrest you. Yeah, good work, mate. No, this is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy. Ridiculous. And Bane's dialogue is going, the whole film. And then they're just pumping Powerade into his muscles every 5 minutes. This yellow goo. Such a stupid movie.
It's a great analog of Western history, I would say. That people will say, what will they say?
Kane,
Citizen Kane, Gandhi, Beautiful Life, Shawshank Redemption, Gone with the Wind, and Batman and Robin. That was that's the pyramid of high art for Western civilization in the 20th century.
The 8 pillars of wisdom. Yeah, it's
so just like write that down for any trivia that you do in a pub because trust me, it's going to come up.
Yeah, I have to know this. Okay, we'll move on to Christopher Nolan. This is because there was a big gap. This is almost like a 10-year gap, I think, between Batmans.
I reckon it was that long for the coke to get out of all of the system, like everyone in Hollywood that had funded those last 3 films.
Yeah, to clean out, George Clooney's the cocaine's injected in his piss hole. Scoop it all out. So Christopher Nolan came around, and I can remember it because you were still working at cinemas.
Yeah,
I believe. And I was a young kid, and I got to visit you one time, and I can remember this is before I saw it, and I got to.
That sounds so bleak. It's like, can I see my brother at his place?
You're like Nosferatu in the shadows, and I must wake brother up. Batman has returned. And, you're working at the cinemas like a grub, and I got to visit you one day, and then he took me behind the scenes. I remember, and there was the jizz covered projector guy that He goes, I'm just showing my brother around, and he was playing Batman Begins on opening weekend, and I got to see a little bit of it, and you were like, oh, you haven't seen it yet, have you, Kev? I'm like, no. And you pushed me away. I was like, no.
Ye shall not be ye spoiler.
Take me in my ear. Like, oh no. Wash out your hair, you filthy orphan. Yes.
Christopher Nolan told me himself, you're not allowed to show.
Oh boy, great expectations, you are.
It's all about the twist.
That was crazy because I can remember seeing little glimpses of it, and I'm like, oh, and I got that a few weeks later, and I'm, oh man, it blew my mind. That's so good. Like that whole trilogy is flawless. Like, but Michael Caine is Alfred, like alone.
Yeah. Did you notice it? Like after those 3 films, like the Alfreds that people sort of pick, they get sexier as time goes on. Like, Alfred's supposed to be the ageless grandpa that is the sage of wisdom. He's not supposed to be like making, eyebrow raisers about the marital status of Bruce.
Looking at Wonder Woman's skirt and stuff and going like, is that what you're doing, Mr. Yes.
I was Scar,
Yeah, what's his name? Oh, Jeremy Irons. That's
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons is a bit too, I don't know. I won't go too much into it. I'm a bit ashamed of that segment of Batman history, but bag of shit. Yeah.
Man, Tom Hardy is Bane and Heath Ledger is the Joker. They're
fantastic villains, and that's what Batman's about. Villains. It's villains. Yeah.
Can you give people a bit of your background about the old Richard Burton vibe that Tom channeled to become Bane?
I'm not much of an expert on the old Tom Hardy accent.
No, but you are of Richard Burton.
But I am of Richard Burton. Yes, for those who know, I'm very into my Welsh and Irish drunkards of history.
As long as you're not into your Felch drunkards.
Yeah. But I love Richard Burton and stuff, and I think it's almost like you're trying to be an aristocrat but an anti-aristocrat at the same time. So
Yeah.
Bane's created himself as this drunken man who's not drunk. He's drunk on his own power almost, and it's almost effortless. But at the same time, he's morphing his voice because his face is being completely ripped apart by, people in this prison hellhole.
Yeah.
But and some might say he pretty much just repeated his role in Dunkirk, but just without the villainous nose.
Without a thing. I reckon it's the character of Bronson.
Yeah.
Like when he did Bronson, it's almost like Bronson's the Cockney geezer version of Bane. And Bane's just, he went to night college and did some philosophy and did some Shakespeare for a while before he put on the mask. But fantastic, iconic villains, man. So good.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. And even Scarecrow, the way that they did Scarecrow in Batman Begins is
great. Way better than the cartoon.
It's on par with the OG animated series of how he is and that whole lofty sentiment that he has where he likes to think that he likes the human psyche, but really he thinks you're all peasants and you should. Well,
he's almost used as a weapon against you. Like, I don't know, he's punished everyone for being weak. It's pulls that people's minds can be crafted like that, and he uses people as puppets, I guess. Or
exactly. Yeah, gets off on the fragility of people's fears. Yeah,
exactly. And Batman Begins is great. And I love what's his name? Liam Neeson, whatever his name is.
Jacob, your booze fuck cave is getting a bit dark there, man. You might want to
lighten us up.
Put on a light.
Yeah, I might just turn the bedroom light on. Hang on.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Go on, treat yourself.
Yeah, I will.
Is that a couple of Goosebumps novels I see? Choose your own scare?
My fine poems of yesteryear.
The Chronicles of Aston Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah, Mum gave me a whole $20 note.
I'm going to Where's Wally the fuck out of that note.
All right, so
cheers, bro.
Yeah, cheers, Kip. Batch, eh? Well, you traitor.
I don't mind Batch, man. I reckon it's pretty damn good. It gets pretty damn packed when I come visit up in Marrickville and go.
It's a big shed. I find it's a very hot, low-level shed. There's not much room for air to move through.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of stouts, a lot of hot air, a lot of farts,
a lot of beards. The beards just soak up.
Yeah, there's a lot of beardy weirdies. Yeah. I feel Marrickville has become the industrial site of many a modern brewery now. So yeah. So if anyone didn't know, my brother works at a brewery. Tell them all about it, Cam.
I work at Sunday Road Brewery, so I'm the venue manager, and I've been there since I opened about nearly 3 years now. And and I'm going to do my brewery certificate soon as well. So hopefully soon I'll be able to open up my own brewery.
You'll be a wizard of the East.
Yes, Yeast Lord, some might say. So I've devoted my life to beer, as well as.
You got it.
Not just like I must drink beer. But
I'm pretty damn sure there's a lot of people at the local TAB that have devoted their life
to beer and minge. But
I am a vessel that vice flows through. And booze.
Yeah, and boy, is it true?
And urine and estranged from family. And
that's my life.
And I'm an alcoholic, and
I piss blood. Yeah,
there's a pile of shitty newspapers in the corner, and a dead axolotl in
newspapers.
Yeah, my guinea pig died.
I couldn't afford feed, only the ales.
Couldn't afford feed, could afford mead.
But
why are you wearing a primary school sports shirt?
It's linen. It's a linen shirt.
Pass the baton, Jacob. No, Jacob, you've dropped the baton. Pass it.
Pass the. No, disqualified now, Jacob.
2 hands.
2 hands, Cape.
2 hands.
2 hands.
And they all ran like this.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we at to now?
We also have Christopher Nolan. We've talked about that basically. How awesome it is, how villains are good, Tom Hardy, etc.
Yep. And Christian Bale, usual thing of start small, gain fuckloads of weight, become hench, then become almost like you crippled at the end. Do that as well. Yeah, very cool. Amazing. I don't know why
nothing bad to say about Christopher Nolan.
To wade into that water after that.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have given like a grace period of maybe another fucking 20 years before.
That's my problem. I think they went too quick to start this Batman and Superman thing, and it felt so rushed and just like the problem I've always heard about all this stuff is that there's too many writers going on. So there's like 10 people or 20 producers in the room going, "This is what we do. That's a great idea." When you got someone like Christopher Nolan, it's like him and 2 other guys, and they're like, "This is what we want. This sounds good." Or it's Christopher Nolan's vision, and then he will just tell exactly what he wants. And it gets when you start doing this thing where it's like poor Zack Snyder, whatever his name is, who usually has a great vision in films. I think he just got really stuck with being forced to make something that's shit. Or he would film apparently after the Schneider cut of his film he just brought out.
The 4-hour film.
Yeah, it's like a 4-hour film he wanted, and then they cut it down. It was absolute rubbish. No one wanted it. Then he rebought it out, and it wasn't too bad. But I just feel like even the aesthetic of it is just shit, and they try to copy Marvel too much, or whatever, and they try to child down what DC is.
Yeah.
And but the problem is, when you got Batman and stuff, it's not a ridiculous superhero and stuff. When you start bringing in superheroes and mythical stuff with superpowers, the universe itself leaves that realm of realistic, gritty stuff and becomes very elastic CGI nonsense.
You're right. So, I feel like it's that thing of, the myth swallows up the fact and plausibility, and I think
love with the character.
Yeah. There's no longer a human element to what you're looking at anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole point of why Christopher Nolan's so damn good is because it's not that far-fetched from what you could imagine someone becoming like. And the whole Bane, the radicalized individual downtrodden by capitalism.
Oh, yeah, and the prison hole in the ground.
Yeah, the prison. And the beautiful Shakespearean stuff of that whole hope can kill a man and all that stuff. And we're all crawling on the anthill to stay in the sun. Like, I love that. I love all that shit. Same as like how me and you always quoting when we get maggot, we start quoting fucking David the android from the latest Alien franchise.
Oh, yeah.
It's all like that. Look upon thy works.
He makes in despair.
He's like
calmness and bear.
Yeah, he's like the unique David Bowie of space.
So good. It's like the best stuff's done in like 20 years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't understand why everyone hates Prometheus. I love Prometheus. It's one of the.
I think they're jealous because they know exactly how big Fassbender's Fass is.
Yeah.
Dude. It's like.
It would be intimidating. It would be it'd be 2 batch cans.
So ridiculous, eh?
Plastic.
Xenomorphs, he's like, they trusted me. But like the Xenomorphs.
I was like, oh, shit. No,
I reckon they were just there going, we'll do what he says because his wang is massive.
That's it. And he's a breeder. Yeah, he's so good in that.
Yeah. But all right, so where are we at to now? Oh yeah, so we've done our Batman Steel, the Cape Crusader.
Of course.
I've got there's so many awesome films, and you're very niche with what you love about films and pretty well versed in it. I'm one of those people that, I love some really obscure shit, but also I'm not above the spectacle of cinema and funness and that kind of thing.
Sure.
As long as it's not completely cornball without a point.
Yep.
It's like the movie Man of Steel.
Oh, I love that one. That's a great film.
Fuck me, that's like the best scene Kevin Costner ever did, and he's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's great. No Clark.
Yeah, he's great.
Clark. No Clark.
You with me?
Yeah, when he's going, no Clark.
Oh yeah, Clark.
Clark.
So that scene, that's so sad. I'm like, nah, when it happens. But also, like, in the modern world, he could have just been doing stuff like, Clark. Life insurance.
Yeah. Oh no, Clark. I can barely
save the farm. He would save the farm.
Yeah.
Clark farm just went. He's like,
and the wife's gone.
The wife's gone to Clark. He was worth more dead than
alive.
For the greater good, Clark.
His career has been over for many years.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen Waterworld, Clark?
Need I say more, rubber tits?
Yeah. Have you seen The Postman, Clark?
Oh, The Postman. Yeah, great film. And Michael Shannon. Can't go wrong with Michael Shannon.
Man.
He's a living legend.
The squarest head in all of Hollywood.
Yeah, I love it.
You know when someone's a good actor when you fucking hate their guts no matter what role they play?
Yeah, you always know that it's slimy. Because I always loved him in Boardwalk Empire. He's so good in that. He's so... Like the bit where he's like, he starts out as a rough cop, then he like has to pretend to be weak and like a door-to-door salesman, and then they bring out the devil in him, and he like puts like an eye, like a door-to-door iron on someone's face, and goes like, ah!
And then that whole reveling in the power of being a sexist piece of shit of the American dream in The Shape of Water.
Oh, he's great in that. Yeah. His fake finger. Oh,
yep. Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like Guillermo del Toro. I feel like all these films are great, but they're so ahead of their time sometimes that the CGI and the craft of cinema can't keep up to him. So it's like
Hellboy had the CGI we had now, it would be so fucking intense.
Totally.
Like, that film was great.
If he'd done that exact two films now, then that would be great. Because that other remake's terrible.
Was it the Golden Empire or something, or Golden Army?
Oh, the newest Hellboy that came out like 2 years ago. It's shocking.
Oh, that was different, wasn't it? That wasn't even him, was it? That was
the dude from Stranger Things. The cop
that
from
wasn't Del Toro, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Good. But all the Guillermo del Toro movies, like he's amazing. Like Pan's Labyrinth, man, they'll go down.
That he had good effects in that.
Remember, who were we talking to where they said, "Oh, I'm not really in." Like they said something like, "Didn't get Pan's Labyrinth. It's not a really good film." I'm pretty sure me and you just like grabbed him by the neck and went, "You take that back. That's a flawless film."
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot. Yeah. Like I want to see your film resume now.
Yeah, what's your favorite film? Driving Miss Daisy.
What have you done with your life, Nathan? What have you done, mate?
Fuck you. Go home.
But everyone's always thinking there's only two things you come away from Pan's Labyrinth that haunt you. It's the fawn's hand where he's always like oh no, and everything is like dick-like. Like it's all like,
it's all then this guy, three fingers,
and this guy.
Mine's the bottle scene with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
The peasants that have stolen the rabbit, and he goes,
the rabbit. Yeah. Well, apparently that was a Guillermo del Toro true story of his childhood. He witnessed that.
Yeah.
In the back streets of Mexico, he witnessed
enough time at El Sol and Cronulla.
All right. So to give you a background information about a Shire tale. There's a place that's a real shotty. Well, it's a bit better now, but back in the day it was a bit loosey-goosey. And it was a place called El Sol, which is a tapas Mexican taco nightclub bar.
Don't go there for the food. I'll leave you that much.
No. You go there because it's full of minge and they play okay music, and usually you knew someone, so you'd get cheaper drinks.
Yeah.
But they decided that they'd have like a south of the border style desktop thing. So when you went up to the bar was a fish tank, and in the fish tank was a bunch of scorpions.
Yeah.
But they had it like, mini cactuses and little cowboy boots and stuff in there for the scorpions to crawl around in. But they didn't think that maybe scorpions might need heat. So in the winter of Cronulla, they all died. But they didn't remove them. They kept the dead scorpions in the tank for 2 to 3 years afterwards and just moved the little corpses around every couple of weeks to look like they'd moved somewhere. And because, as a naturalist would know, scorpions glow under UV light. So if you have a couple of fluorescent bulbs in the canister, then there's this little glow in the dark skeletons of these scorpions while you're waiting for your watered down Madurian lemonade.
Yeah.
And that is a story.
It's a classy joint
of soul.
Yeah. Yeah, it was getting torn up soon.
Why?
Apparently they've sold, so it's going to get turned into.
Did you put it in the hallway?
No, apparently it's going to be. They're going to get ripped up into another thing of apartments in Cronulla, like so many other places. So.
Oh right, okay.
Oh well, I'm not going to miss it. Started to stink. No,
I don't think they'll miss you either, buddy.
I don't think they will. I wasn't a very popular resident of the old soul.
You weren't Sam's brother, I'd kill you now.
Yeah, I was had a few.
True story.
Yeah. It's all right.
The closer you get with that pencil mustache and that beanie and that jacket, the more you look like a roadie for Keith Urban. The closer you get to the camera. He's a real good guy.
The thing about me and Keith, right, is
yeah.
Even after a few schnapps in the mountains, like we can still just go home with the kids and the wife and just keep it real.
Is that where you got your scented candles from behind you?
No, I've had them since Gab moved out, actually. I keep them around for aesthetic value. They're all dried up. They're dust. They're dust. They're dust. They're not even candles anymore. They're just crummy dust.
They're wickless.
Wickless wonders. Yeah, something like that.
You wickless wonders of the West.
Look at you, Pettigrew. Yeah.
Look at you. Peter Pettigrew. Oh. Mischief managed.
What are we talking about?
It's all entertaining. Let's face it. Let's face it. We are. What is it? We are raconteurs of the highest order. The wine is sweeter. The meat is saltier, and the conversation is spittler.
The lads are rock solid, lad. And yeah, what are we talking about? Superheroes or some shit. I don't know what I'm up to in superhero films.
The rant is going thick.
No, it was Man of Steel, and then yeah, well, it's just all this Justice League stuff and that, and it just said it took the worst elements of Man of Steel and that, and just progressed it into this.
What you're about to say? It took the worst elements of man,
man, and the best elements of steel
to conjure this type up. Put a hot steaming shit in Hollywood.
Fucking garbage. Yeah.
Charge you $12.50 a chopped up, suck me off, and give me the prequel.
Well, I remember one time it was fucked. Like I went to see Wonder Woman alone, and this is like in the peak of just shit films. And like I went to Wonder Woman alone, and I got heaps drunk, and there was this lovely woman working at Miranda. I'm sorry if you're listening. And I was heaps drunk.
Be the Wonder Woman then?
Yeah, no, because I kept walking out of the film, and she goes, "Oh, you're in there for 10 minutes ago. Can I have a Jack Daniels and ice or whatever?" I was drinking that. And I was drinking that, and I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm going back in." I come back out 10 minutes later. Oh man, that film sucked. I was like, "Give me one of them Jack Daniels," and I did this like 10 times. And you guys like, "But do you just want to buy a bottle?" And just laughing. I was going like, and I was like, "Oh man, like I should have. This film is trash."
Man, there's only one film I walked out of, and it's one where you were with me was when we watched Mike Myers, The Love Guru.
Oh God.
The moment we saw like Sir Benjamin Kingsley cross-eyed talking about penises, I'm just like, let's get the fuck out of here. This is trash.
For me, just like, let's just get some Lebanese food instead or something. We got some gosling. So yeah.
Some goose lamar.
Goose lamars.
All right. So can you rant to the audience? Because I've just got to go. I've got to go split the whisker.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 secs.
All right.
Well, so why don't you tell people about I guess a bit of your what's that film? Anyway, well, you can wait after me.
No, I will. Well, the thing about Hitler, right, is
no, talk about Freddie Got Fingered.
There's a film called Freddie Got Fingered. If you guys haven't seen it, and Sam's obsessed with it and claims it's one of the best films of all time. Jesus, Freddie Got Fingered is something else. It's from what I think about it after watching it a few times, is that he's been given all this money for a film after doing a few skits on MTV, and he's thought, how much can I get away with? So there's scenes like him wanking off a horse, or my favorite bits is, of course, giving diamonds to a wheelchair-ridden woman to get her affection, and and just ridiculous scenes that don't make sense at all. And he's always trying to sell his cartoons, which are awful, to big investment type people. And his dad, of course, is Rip Torn, which adds value to the movie. Of course, Rip Torn is a great actor, very classical. And it's just some great scenes. Just Rip Torn, just ripping it up. This is, of course, before Rip Torn got caught being drunk in a bank vault.
Yeah, that's right. He thought he was just going in to make a transaction. He drove his car into the bank vault.
Yeah, he's trying to call Nick Nolte in the bank vault. He's trying to
yeah. He's in the Hawaiian shirt warehouse just pissing himself. So what are you covered? What are you covered about this Freddie Got Fingered?
Well,
everything.
Diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
The diamonds to the wheelchair chick.
Yep. Yeah, right. Yep.
Of course, the horse making scene.
My favourite's the when he's in the therapist with the child molester scene.
Oh, the cheese sandwich.
Yep, the cheese sandwich factory. Look, basically, as we were saying before, there's certain parts of Western culture that stand the test of time and will go into the time capsule of humanity. And yeah, they're things like Citizen Kane, Shawshank Redemption, Batman and Robin, Gandhi, Is a Beautiful Life, and of course, Freddie Got Fingered.
I think we should do a whole episode, not on Freddie Got Fingered, not just Freddie Got Fingered, but just ridiculous comedies of the 90s that are just sex-based, or like
or just absurd
90s
one-liner that you just...
Joe's Apartment, which is my favorite.
Joe's Apartment, Deaf to Smoochie.
Oh, see, I watched Deaf to Smoochie as a young child. I never got to watch it as an adult.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I'm gonna have to rewatch that. It's
quite possibly the dumbest and silliest thing Ed Norton would ever be able to be.
Ed Norton, he's the one that's opposite Robin Williams in it.
Yeah.
We'll do that next episode, people. We'll do our absurd 90s comedies.
Yep.
We'll
have to do a couple of lines to get through it, I think. To be on character with everything.
Yeah, I was thinking, we do some Robin Williams sneaky bags. Of course, if you've seen Aladdin, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, or even Fern Gully. Same deal.
Oh my God, he's batty and he does even a bat cocaine.
He does the batty rap. Remember that?
Bat rap.
Yo, the name is Batty. The logic is erratic. Toys in the attic.
So far.
And then also Tim Curry is the evil tree. He's Hexus.
Yeah, and there's a very I don't know, it was weird because when I was a child, I almost got sexually aroused by the lizard that was eating the characters. Is that the same film with the iguana and he's eating everything?
Yeah. It's a lace monitor that is going, if I'm gonna eat somebody, it might as well be you.
One of my sins of my sexuality was animals eating characters in Disney films growing up.
Mine was my sexual awakening was during Who Framed Roger Rabbit with Jessica Rabbit, of course.
Of course.
Like, yeah, big boobs, tall, huge eyes, big lips, just like illegally proportioned for a cartoon character. And that whole like, I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. I'm just like,
oh shit.
Yeah.
Was it? I watched Tarantino films too young. I was watching Tarantino films like the age 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a 10-year-old watching From Dusk Till Dawn, it's not going to have a good imprint of your your puberty watching.
Is that why you like feet?
Wait to episode 3 for that one.
And I'll just myself
calm down out of here. Is that a staircase right there?
I need it in the basement.
Oh. But,
right on.
Well, I reckon it's probably enough for one episode, mate.
I think it is.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think we, well, me and you can continue on our sloz fest after this. But yeah, I think, as they say in one of these famous 90s cartoon characters, let's all talk about your one-track mind.